Hello, everyone. This is David Stark from WatcherPass.com, your website for movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Today, I'm joined by Julius Berg, the co-writer and director of the all-new thriller The Owners. The Owners opens in theaters, on demand, and digital on September 4th and stars Maisie Williams, Sylvester McCoy, and Rita Tushingham. We're going to talk to Julius in just a second, but first, let's check out the trailer. Hello, Julius.
Hello, David. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, great. Good to talk to you.
But
Yeah,
awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining. I
you're
guess we can
welcome.
just get right into it. I know you have a hard stop, in a little bit, so I'll try to make sure to keep the questions short so we can make sure that you don't run over.
Okay.
Um, so I've seen the film. It's a really interesting film. I really liked kind of the two essentially phases of it, for lack of a better word. This is based on a French comic, and I'm going to butcher this, so I'm very sorry. Uh, Une nuit de pleine lune, something like
Oh, your French is perfect.
that. You're too kind.
By, by
Uh,
the way, it's a Belgian graphic novel.
oh,
It's
Belgian.
it's
Okay.
it's it's close to France, but I have to say it's from Belgium. Belgium.
Yeah, France won the World Cup more recently, so I guess French wins there. Um, does that translate into like a midnight moon or under a midnight
Yeah,
moon or something like that?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it means that. It's yeah. We were searching with my friend Matthieu Gompel, my co-writer. We were searching a project for a feature film, a first feature film. So something quite easy to produce, but also with strong premise of interesting psychological thriller. In this graphic novel, we found the good ingredients for this project because it's one single location, it's six characters. The story takes place during one night. It's quite minimalist.
Mhm.
For a producer, it's not so hard to find budget for that. It's a low budget movie, and but there is something which could be very fast understood. There is good opportunity to to play with characters, to play with strong characters and interact with all of them. I mean, to avoid maybe classical figures of horror movies. I didn't want jump scares. I didn't want just to make another horror movie, but really to play with characters
Mhm.
and and also to invert the figure of villain, classical villain. I mean, here the old couple is quite weak. It's quite fragile. Physically, they are really not strong at all, and even the brain of Ellen is quite fragile. She has the sickness. She doesn't. It's real sickness, and so the main force of this villain is their connection each other, how they love so strongly each other, and also how they can manipulate the young robbers. When we see the movie, we understand they don't kill so much by themselves. It's mainly how they manipulate the young robbers, and violence mainly comes from the robbers because of their intensity, this intensity of youth, and this villain just play like chess player, yeah, it's their main abilities.
Yeah, and that was the older couple, Sylvester McCoy and Rita Tushingham. They were fantastic. Sylvester McCoy, especially, was he was a treat to watch. Kind of like you said, with they're a little bit more kind of psychological in what they do, and the way that I don't even know how he does it. The way he delivers lines that are
Yeah.
at the same time like perfectly innocent but also sinister. It was just really interesting to see, and some of the things he says with his facial expressions are just it was a really really good choice on your part.
He's a brilliant actor. I feel very lucky as a director to have this level of cast because all of them they really are in the right position. They gave the perfect color for each character, and thanks to my casting director Dan Hubbard, I had this great opportunity to work with him. He did an amazing job. All ideas come from him, to be honest, and And I think Sylvester and Rita, they have the perfect balance. I mean, they have this versatility. It was mainly what I was looking for, this versatility. How at the beginning they appear very, very nice, very charming, warmful, but eventually they show something very intrusive and something pervert, nasty, creepy. But so yeah, both of them, they have this large panel of play, I feel really, really, really lucky. And it's funny because a few months before I started this production, I went to cinema to see Taste of Honey. It's a whole movie from the 60s, British movie, with Rita Tushingham. She was 20 years old. And she was already brilliant, but I didn't make the connection by myself. For me, it was a young actress what I was watching. It's thanks to Dan who told me, but why not working with Rita Tushingham? He didn't know that I saw her in cinema just a few weeks ago. And he told me she's 75 years old. It's how she looks. She would be perfect. And I was in shock, like a gift from the sky, you know.
Yeah, that's such an interesting coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she's really brilliant what she does. And yeah, I see it's the heart of the movie, the casting. I really want maybe something classical in the way to film, not to have too much bling bling filming, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Quite simple but accurate. We shot with one camera, so it forced you in not so many days. It's 23 days of shooting, so you have to choose which is a good angle because you won't have so much time to multiply to do coverage. Mm-hmm. So it was. The idea was to stay simple but accurate and to give energy, to give power to the actors. And I think I had the perfect cast for this story.
Yeah, it was a really great cast. The one camera mentioned is interesting. There were some scenes I noticed that had just very, very long takes, and kind of to your point, where you kind of have to be very specific on how you're how your shot choice and especially some of these long sequences. Was that a challenge, or was it just kind of once everyone got in character, everyone just kind of stayed in character and it just kind of flowed?
Yeah, no, sure. It was a challenge. There is 2 long shots in the movie, and it's minimum 12, 13 takes. I don't remember which one we took, but I mean how many takes we did, but of course it's a challenge, but it's also very joyful because you don't cheat with cut, you know. It's like theater in a way. It's all space for the actors. Of course it's very precise technically because the position has to be here and not 10 centimeters further. You have to respect all this position, but when it works, it's I think it's really great for actors because they have the feeling they gave the performance. It's not editing who helped them. It's they gave sincerely in one full take. And I think it's the quintessence of cinema when a long take, when it starts to work, because it's really work of all the team. You have to be good with camera. You have to be good with props. You have to be good with the lights. And you have to be good, of course, with all the actors. And I think it gives power because it can at the first long take, it's the moment when they enter the house, this circular long take, and it gives to the audience subtly the information of the spatialization. It makes sense, where is each room. And also it creates weird moments because we understand it's very intrusive moment when they enter, and the camera is more passive. It doesn't work with the act. I mean, it doesn't go further than the actors. It just follows the actors because like a shy camera. We shouldn't enter in this place. So it makes sense in many ways, and it was a challenge of this movie. Play with actors to give them all time, all space, but also to be very accurate with with the camera, and with the tools we had, it was not so much time, so challenging but fun.
And it must have been doubly challenging because it's, unless I'm, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like this was all filmed in kind of an old classic house where you don't get kind of those tricks that you can sometimes have for a one shot where you can essentially build a set that comes apart and comes back together. So, that must have been just a ton of planning on your part.
It was by the way, we shot in 3 different houses. I mean, 2 different houses, one house for outdoor scene, one another house for ground floor and first floor, and we built the basement in studio because it was so specific for the safe, for the connection with the kitchen, for the car. It was also a garage, and it doesn't really exist in England, this kind of garage underground. It's more French garage, by the way. So we cheated, and the only way was to build it in studio, and after, with magic of editing, we make these 3 locations like only one.
Oh, well, that's some really good editing and it's really great camera work as well. Your comment about seeing that 1960s film with Rita just jogged a memory of one of the scenes. Was seeing her before, did that kind of help with put the scene in where he looks at this picture during the film? There's a scene where they look at a picture, like an old picture of Mrs. Huggins. Was that from because you saw her earlier, or was that from the comic as well?
It's not from the comic. It's but it's also a way to show to give density to this couple. It's not just all couple. They used to be young, like the robbers. They used to be beautiful, and they used to be full of energy. And this sickness and this old age, which is very natural, makes them more fragile, more vulnerable, and it creates more empathy, I think, at the beginning to this old couple. So, and it was also a way to a small signature for Taste of Honey when she was very, very young, and a movie I really like.
And so the couple was fantastic, but I think given her top billing, Maisie Williams is kind of the big star of this movie. How did she get involved? It was really after seeing her for a decade of Game of Thrones, I'm pretty sure everyone kind of enjoys seeing her in other roles and see her kind of stretch her acting chops. So
it's one more time, it was thanks to Dan Herbard, my casting director. It was his idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. It was a fantastic idea. We just sent a script to a manager first in London. The manager liked the script, then he shared it with Maisie. She liked the script. We had a Skype call with Maisie from Paris. We had good connection. She understood what I was searching, and she was delightful. It was really easy process to work with her, and also very intense. She gave so much. She's so generous as an actress that she offered a lot full of proposition, but also very listening to the intentions, very precise. It's really a dream to work with this level of actress because she's very talented and she's also very, very delightful. And it was fun also because it's few actors, like a family on set every day. We don't change location with other actors. We really stay on the same location with all the cast from the top until the end, and so it creates a feeling of family in a way. So it was really, really nice. Yeah.
A family that then you go shoot some really terrible scenes.
You can't imagine that it was fun. I mean, a lot of jokes on set. It's really far from what we can see on movie.
I think you just kind of need to have that, right, when you've got such a serious film.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And one other thing that kind of caught me was there are some very brutal scenes. I mean, it's not, to your point, the movie is a very understated movie overall, but there are some very brutal scenes. Is that something that was from the comic books, or something that you felt was important to kind of put people back down? Or
it was new from it's not in the comic book, by the way. In the graphic novel, the wife disappears quite fast. She's killed quite fast. We didn't want that. I mean, it was great opportunity to go far with this woman, this old woman, and this violent scene. It's quite invented by Matthieu and me, but it was really to create very strong turning points. And we start slowly, like inoffensive movie, maybe not so just a drama, but suddenly there is this very violent scene just to break the floor of the characters. Suddenly we enter a new territory, because even the good, even the robbers, and especially Mary, who is quite innocent, she's not totally white, but she's quite innocent. She didn't want to be involved, even if she was happy to have this money, probably from Nathan, a boyfriend. But suddenly she has a new. It's so violent for her that it gives a new color to this character. Suddenly she's guilty of something, and there is only one option: to leave, to run, and it's also a thriller. We have to be intense, and so
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know you have limited time, so I think I'm right up against it. So I guess, just quickly before you go, what's next for you? This movie comes out on September 4th. Is there something else you're planning, a second feature, or are you just gonna? I guess what's next for you?
I have some projects, but it's too early to talk about some ideas or some stories. I mean, it's a step of searching, and there is different ways, different paths. I'm not sure which one I will take for different kind of stories. And also right now I'm working on new shooting for French television. It's 6 episodes. It's a mini series, and with Gerard Depardieu and with some other famous French actors. So I have 1 more month to shoot. I'm a little bit tired. Maybe 2 months and a half of shooting, but it will be good. I think it will be nice.
Well, that's fantastic. I hope you return to the thriller side of things, because this is a very, very tense, very well put together movie. So thank you for making it, and thank you for
so
talking
much.
to me.
Thank you so much. I was very glad to share this time with you, and see you soon, maybe on a new feature film.
Fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Have a good time. Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.
That was Julius Berg, the co-writer and director of the all-new Thrill of the Owners. It's an interesting movie that kind of has 2 different phases and has a lot of great young actors and some really, really tense situations. If you want to check it out, you should go see it in theaters, on demand, and digital on September 4th. If you like this interview, please feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. It helps us out a lot, and make sure that our new interviews and videos go straight to you. And as always, please go to watcherpass.com for all your movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Thank you.